Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 89. We are
again.
We are
can't say good morning this time.
We cannot. Man, I don't know. I feel kind of odd. We're recording this episode at a different time. We just recorded like an episode a couple days ago, and so we're recording this one kind of midweek because you will be gone this weekend at the Planes to Profit event. So
our routine is upside down here. Yes,
give you time to do some editing and get this one in the can, as they say, ready to put out this morning. If you're watching it, it's out. It's on right now.
It is always going to be this morning.
We were done. Yeah. So, hopefully then we're also doing a little bit of experiment here to see if we are a little more awake. Because usually we record pretty early on a Sunday morning. Yeah. And just
we may have ruined that experiment, though.
How's that?
We got on the phone and we talked for 7.6 miles today, and now I'm exhausted. My voice is scratchy.
Oh, yeah. I think you owe me like $3, like probably somewhere around $3. I think
for gas.
For gas. So okay. So Cory calls me to say, "Hey, you want to chat about podcast?" Yeah, we'll do that. And so we talked for, what'd you say, 7.5 miles?
7.5. Well, 7.61 miles.
That's just, you should. What is it? That's almost like 2. Oh, I get, okay. You should this summer, Cory, you should start doing like 5Ks, start doing, all those people have those like 5K races for like charity or something.
5K? Is that like 2.5? It's 3.1 miles?
3.1 miles.
We did 2 5Ks today.
I know. See, that's what I'm saying. You could like do 2 in a weekend or whatever, and it wouldn't seem like any effort. You could raise some money for, charity. Usually a lot of those 5Ks are for some sort of, fundraising event. And then
the issue I have with those is they call them a race, which implies they want you to do it quickly. And as a long-standing member of the Chubby Guy Guild, I don't do anything quickly. We walk.
What Jill had done, she had hosted, organized and hosted a 5K for like 10 years. And it was, they called it like a 5K. It was a run/walk. And so, it's just for everybody to be there for the day. But you could as soon as they shoot off that gun, you could just give me a call.
Pick up the phone.
And you could plod along. And, pretty soon we'd have all of the world's problems solved. And
we could sell tickets.
All these
it's topics. Just whoever the higher bidder is, I take them with me on the 5K. We get on the phone and we walk it out.
So they would go with you and walk?
Yeah, we auction off the phone call. I'll talk to them on the phone the whole time.
I was going to say, because hell, I'm not bidding to go walk 3.1 miles. And I've done that. I've done some 5Ks with Jill. And
there's a problem. I don't think we'd get anybody to bid on talking to me for 3.1 miles either.
Probably not. Maybe you could throw out just do a reverse bid where you go, okay, I'll pay somebody, start out
to talk to me?
I'll pay somebody like $5 to talk to me for 3.1 miles. Or
there you go.
Which it takes me, I've done a few 5Ks and I'm a little under, because I guess I more plod. I just plod along more than I do walk or whatever. I'm not running for sure. No, it's not even a trot. It's not near a trot. It's probably less than a walk. But I have finished dead last in a 5K. I don't get it, especially when the start finish line is in the same spot. It's not like I'm walking from here to there and there's going to be a prize or they don't usually have like donuts or anything like that at the end.
They don't want to do that. I would just cross the line and turn around and come back for the donuts.
Yeah. So when they start and finish at the same place, it's like I was already here. I could have saved myself all the sweat and the foot pain or whatever.
So all that is to say, we may not be any more awake than we usually are because we've kind of worn ourselves out on the phone today.
True. It was
my feet are sore today.
It's a lot of talking, and then you made me. Here's why you owe me I think around $3 or so, because I missed. We had talked, and I had all my packages that were from over the weekend already packaged and ready to go. I did that yesterday, just like my normal routine, even though I didn't have to go to the post office because it would have been President's Day last Monday, whenever this came out. but I've got my packages ready anyway. And so overnight, the rest of the day, I had sold a couple more things. And then while we were talking, I sold a few more things and didn't. So by the time we were done talking, it's like I had to rush around and feverishly pack the rest of these items up, like four or five more things. A couple of them were a little more involved packing with some bubble wrapping and such. But, well, I missed the pickup at my postal store, which is right around the corner.
You drop off at like a USPS store, not a post office.
Yeah. They take USPS, they take UPS, they take FedEx, anything. And it's...
See, we usually pack on Monday, and we planned on packing all of our stuff on Monday when we recorded.
Yeah.
But partway through that, we found a few items that we had to go pick up, a couple really good deals on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
and they were a little over an hour away. So we had to drive to go get them. And by the time we got home, we were wiped out. So we grabbed some small stuff to list in the house. So we didn't pack our Monday orders until today. And then I was on the phone with you all day. So luckily I have Teresa, because she had to bear the brunt of that. She had to go out and pack everything and get everything to the post office. And the whole time I'm just pacing back and forth, wearing out our carpet.
She's probably cursing me the whole time, like, that damn kid. Well, okay, believe it or not, you guys, watch, the regular viewers here watch the podcast, and it's no secret that, I talk like 80% of the time on the podcast. It's not the same way. It's not the same way on a phone call with Cory. I mean, I'm usually just sitting there. Cory's pacing around. He's going, hey, what about this reselling thing? Oh, we sold this, and I got to analyzing this number, and then I'm just sitting there sedentary. Is that sedimentary? No,
not
sedimentary is like dirt.
That's like dirt. Sedentary. Dirt. Yeah, that's a word. It's like sitting still.
Sentimentally. I'm sitting there sentimentally.
Sentimentally. Aw.
Just listening to Cory, yeah, much
Teresa
more.
has commented on that before. Like, how is it that when you're on the podcast, you hardly talk, and then when you two get on the phone, all I hear is you saying words?
Yeah, like
There's a lot of this, and there's not a lot of just sitting there listening.
And then,
so
I don't know,
she has asked about it.
Are you on the speakerphone when you're usually talking, or do you have the phone?
Not usually. That drives me nuts when people do that in public, so I tend to keep my phone turned down.
Yeah, in public, that's just... It's just rude. When I was at the post office there, I was going with that story. So not only my postal store that I take stuff is, the round trip is about 2.25 miles or 2.5. It's about a mile, just a little over a mile to get to where I drop off my mail every day, which is super convenient. And it's also in the same plaza with the Salvation Army and kind of almost across the street from the Goodwill. So a lot of times I'll hit some of those places. It's nice being that close to those things. But so today, as I was packing up my stuff, I also had 3 UPS packages. Well, by the time I got to the postal store after this, double 5K, or what do they call it? The half marathon, I think they call it a half marathon.
It's a very descriptive name. What could it be?
And I had to drive all the way out to the post office, which is all the way. Well, when I say all the way on the other side of town, it's about 4.5 miles or so to the.
Yeah, this isn't Cincinnati.
Yeah, we're kind of a small town. But then I also had to drive all the way back, equally as far, to the UPS. We have a UPS hub right here, kind of. In my town.
Can you use the word far when you're talking about 4.5 miles?
Well,
I don't think it qualifies. If I took your round trip to do your normal thing, it wouldn't even get me to city limits here.
Probably. So my round trip was about 14.5 miles.
Oh, that would get me to town. We're about 5 or 6 miles out.
About 15 miles to go all the way out to the post office, then all the way back to UPS, and then get back to my house. So,
to be fair, after talking to me for that long, you probably needed the drive, didn't you? Just to roll the window down and let your hair out.
You could have today, man. The weather was beautiful today, for winter.
I bet you couldn't have.
There again, it was,
You could let your hair out?
No, I can't. Oh, I thought you meant drive around with the window down. I could let my head let my head cool down.
Missed that one by a few years.
Yes. I used to be able to. My
Yes.
long, luxurious locks, and you roll up the window, I could probably get a haircut and anything. But
So you're saying I owe you gas money? That's where this is going.
Yeah. I figure, with the mileage I get in my truck and the cost of gas and the difference in the extra trip, it's probably right around $3. So,
I'll start you a GoFundMe.
I do like Venmo. I could do PayPal. I can do
Venmo.
straight cash. Down in the description is the PO box if you wanted to send it directly.
I think we're going to find out as this episode goes along. Neither of us is good enough at reselling to be sending either of us money.
Well, this is true. Well, if I was a really good reseller, I'd be going to that aforementioned meetup this weekend.
I think there'll be some good resellers there. Present company excluded. I think there will be some good resellers there.
Somebody, when I was talking about that, the having FOMO and stuff, somebody had a good comment on last week that they also had FOMO. I thought, how did we not think of FOMO for that?
That's good.
But so yeah, I guess just having recorded a couple days ago, not a whole lot interesting has happened in my reselling life, I guess, since then.
A little bit though.
Yeah, we had talked over a few things. So here was one situation, I guess, that you would say that came up about. I had declined an offer on an item based on the fact that it was a zero feedback buyer that had just opened the account like that day, which doesn't really faze me anymore. When I was, when you're a new seller and you have very low feedback and stuff, or you're cautious about your sales and getting scammed, because there's a lot of scammers out there, and there's a zero feedback is a little bit of a flag, but most of the time nowadays it just doesn't bother me. But somebody, you ever get any of those orders or any of that situations that just don't feel right?
Yes. We've had those.
I don't know, just something about that. The offer was sent with a question from the buyer. If you're offering and it's going to be an automatic payment, where are you expecting to get the answer? If I'm just going to accept your offer or not. The question was about my pictures, if they were the original pictures or if they were stock photos, which I guess is a testament to the photos that I had taken, because the photos did look really nice. It was for a KitchenAid blender that I had that was still in the box. It wasn't new in the box. It wasn't a new item, but it was
used,
about
but
as close to being. Yeah, I had the box, had the instructions, had all of the pieces, parts that go to it, and it has a pretty good sell-through rate. And since I listed it just like last week, or not too long ago, it's maybe 2 weeks ago, it's had a number of watchers. I've sent some offers. I've declined some lowball offers, so I know this is a good item that's going to sell. And the offer that the buyer made was a decent offer.
So what gave you the gut feeling? Usually when something makes me say, ugh, and I cancel the order or block them because of a gut feeling, it's almost always related to the questions they're asking. Like if I start getting a whole bunch of questions about, is this in mint condition? Is there any visible scuffs or scrapes? They get really detailed and specific about their questions on a $4 item. That's usually that gets the spidey senses going, and I'm going to cancel it or block them.
They're just
to prevent it.
Yeah, especially if they're asking about that condition, because that could be they're just setting you up for that return, or trying to get a partial
or the
return,
not as described.
Or definitely on that. But how they say
we had one asking us about the color gray. They were trying to buy a Littlest Pet Shop dog, and they were asking if it's a certain shade of gray. I'm like, I don't know, it's gray. And they were, but is it exactly this shade of gray?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's one shade of gray, and it doesn't matter because you're blocked.
Yeah. Yeah, especially on those little items. And I wouldn't say, in my store that this blender was, a particularly high dollar item, but it was they were offering like $68 or something like that. And I think I had it listed for 80. And basically I could see their offer was so that they could probably get the shipping for free, because it was listed plus shipping. And that was a little bit of
heavy too.
The going rate. Yeah. They are. Well, I could take the actual, what do you call, like the container, like the actual blender part that has the bowl. It was, those sell like every day for $40, easy. So I could take that off. I could chuck the motor, cause the motor is what makes it heavy. And, so the offer was a fair offer, but coupled with the question, and okay, you know how the kids today, they'll say something is sus, it's the whole situation's a bit sus, short for suspect or whatever. Well, the username, suspicious. Yeah. The username on this person, zero feedback, that it had just opened their account that day, was suspy, like, and then some numbers, 1492 or something like that. It's like, it's suspect already. How half of their username was suspect. And
I'm a criminal.com 8463.
Yeah. It was, so I don't know. It was just one of those things. It was a fair offer. Now I'm not a person that really looks at that feedback. A lot of times when I get offers, I'll look at a person's feedback. But when I don't go out and search their feedback. I look if they have a feedback number and, they got 50, 100, 800, whatever.
For buyers, we usually don't for buyers. I don't remember a time where I've ever looked at a buyer's feedback unless it's after the fact and they've done something out of character or out of normal. Then I'll go look, but by then it's too late. So we just normally don't look at it. The only time
I will reference feedback is if I am buying something and I see that the seller doesn't have, 100% or in the high 90s of
the seller feedback's more important, I think.
I might go look at that, but I don't know, just something seemed sus, as part of their name, suspy, and so that was
you canceled
the only thing.
You didn't cancel it, you just didn't accept the offer, right?
Yeah, I declined the bid, and I had thought about, I thought about maybe counter offering, but I was like, wait, no, that's stupid. I'm still selling to the same buyer, whether I get more money. And it was a fair offer. It wasn't a low ball, but I don't know. So maybe I lost a $68 sale on an item that I had,
I'd say
very
trust
little
your gut. When it comes to that stuff, I'd say trust your gut. It's not worth it sometimes. Sometimes they're just more of a headache. Usually when that's happening for us, it's almost always an under $10 product. It's always something stupid where they're trying to pull something over and get like a Barbie dress for free or something. Matter of fact, our bad review that we got this week was on a Monster High shirt that we sent out.
Yeah.
And they claimed when they got it, they opened it and there was nothing in the package. Like no card, no sticker, no Bart or Monster High dress. It was just an empty package, which in that situation,
it's all taped up and just
it was not open.
The item was gone.
Yeah, we just sealed up and shipped an empty package. But like we didn't even put our cards or anything in it, which is it's just absolutely her word against ours.
Yes.
We couldn't do anything about it. And she was definitely fishing for us to make it right.
Yeah.
Which we weren't going to do. I wasn't going to give her a refund. I know better than that. Like we did not send an empty package.
Yes.
So she left us a bad review and we weren't able to get it removed. Even though the first thing she sent us was basically, this came as an empty package. There was nothing in it. What are you going to do to make it right? I don't want to leave you bad feedback. It actually said, I don't want to leave you bad feedback. So
a little bit of feedback extortion.
It was absolutely that. But when we went to eBay with it, they said, nope, it stands. It's going to stay on there. So we do have a bad review and we're going to have to sit on it. But like I said, it didn't hurt our review rating overall. It was just, it's one bad review. I don't even know how to respond to it because she's saying I received an empty package. It's 100% her word against ours, and nothing I can think to say makes that sound professional. Like I want to say, you're a liar. Go kick rocks, you psychopath. But I can't say that.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know how to respond to that. How would you respond to that?
That's a good
Would you
question.
reply to that?
I would probably kind of. That's a good question. In the comments, how would you reply to somebody that it's a purely a case of your word against the buyer's word? I suppose I would have wanted to.
Like, we're humans.
I don't know.
I'm
That's
not saying
hard.
we can't make a mistake and not throw something in the envelope.
Yeah.
But there's the fact that we would not throw 3 different things in that envelope. Like, we always put a card in. We always put the sticker in, and we always put the product in when we're dealing with those clothing pieces, those little Barbie and doll clothes. And we take the thank you note and we like fold it in half over the garment or whatever the clothing is and put it in a padded like bubble mailer.
Yeah.
But to say that we just took a bubble mailer and closed it and put a label on it and didn't put anything in, like, that's absolutely untrue.
Because you would think at some point, looking around your shop, I mean, someplace in your packing area, if you would have forgot it, would have been this dress and whatever else pieces
Absolutely,
because
when we go to pack them, we always pull our orders and we put them up on the photo booth.
Yeah,
and it would have been in like a sandwich bag, so it wouldn't have been just this little thing that got kicked off the side or something. It would have been a whole sandwich bag.
Well,
so,
see, those are.
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Those are two super good points down in the comments. Number one, how would you respond to a buyer that just says they didn't receive anything when you're 100% sure? Of course, you can't prove it at that point because it was shipped out. Or in my situation, would you have taken that offer from the 0 feedback buyer that just opened their store that day? Well, I started to say, though, that stuff doesn't bother me. And even early on in my reselling career, probably in the first 6 months, when you have a low feedback rating yourself as a seller, that's, scammers come out and they try to get you. One of my best customer service experiences was with a 0 feedback buyer that had just opened their account that day because they were looking for the type of items. It was back kind of right in the start of COVID when you could sell any video game thing. And this was, especially like the Rock Band stuff, Guitar Hero and Rock Band. And I had found a full set still in the box. Some of the pieces parts were still in the plastic, whereas it's basically a brand new item. And so at that time it was, $300 plus, probably close to $400. And that person had never dealt on eBay before. They came on, they had questions, they had this and that, they weren't sure. So, there was all of those red flags. And, I reached out to other resellers and asked a few questions about that. And, some people were, no, I wouldn't do it because of this. And others were, yeah, just do it. If they're paying for it, if they pay, then ship it.
I don't mind those situations like that. I think once you've been selling for a little while, you start to develop a bit of a sixth sense for these things, though. And usually, once you've been burned a few times, you start to kind of get that gut feeling of that there's something about this sale I don't like. There's something going on here that I don't quite trust, and it doesn't feel right. And I don't mind killing a sale if my gut's telling me it doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
like I'll kill a sale and block them.
And that's the way I kind of treated this one. And again, I keep saying the same thing over and over, but it's only been listed a couple weeks. It's a really good sell-through rate item. I've had a number of watchers, got offers, sent offers, and it's going to sell, pretty quickly here. So I could pass on that. And usually I do a counter offer. I don't like to just decline an offer. I think, I have heard, and I don't know if that's true, that eBay, although they say, send an offer of this or accept counter offers or accept offers, you can always decline if the offer is too low. But then I understand in the algorithm part that eBay just kind of frowns on just straight declining an offer at all without kind of counter offer. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I have heard that in the past. I'm
kind of way more like I lean way more towards when an offer comes in, I'm almost, if it's even a halfway reasonable offer, I'm okay with getting rid of stuff. Like I'm usually the one saying, take that offer. If you counter offer, we might lose the deal.
Yes.
Like I'm that guy. Teresa's the opposite. If they offer $4 under our asking price on $100 item, she's going to meet them in the middle. Like she will counter offer every time.
Okay.
So we balance each other out pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, that's unless it's what I consider to be a low ball offer. And I think we discussed that here recently where I had a low ball or what I thought was a low ball. And the first thing was just like, nah, I'm just sending, I'll do a counter offer, but kind of high because this person's ridiculous. Well, turns out they were right when I went and recomped the item because they had sent me, a counter offer. I was happy that buyer stayed engaged with me because I love that back and forth. I love the offer, counter offer, and you decide someplace in the middle. And that's where you really kind of tell if the person really wants the item.
I'm not a big fan of that. I don't enjoy the haggling process. I enjoy getting a deal. Like I'm going to make you an offer and I try to be fair. I don't try and lowball anybody. I try and give you a fair offer and decide what I'm willing to pay for it. And I'll make that offer. And if you counter offer, I'm like, nah, I'll just leave. Like Teresa's watched me leave the garage sale and leave good deals behind just because I made my offer. Like that was my offer. Which I gotta get better at that. I think that's silly. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It was probably a good offer at what he came back at. I was just stuck on my number.
Yeah, I guess my technique in that is, again, at the yard sales, mostly garage sales, I'm always going to haggle just most everything. Well, didn't we just talk about that? I think I'm going to.
I know we've talked about it before, but yeah, we certainly always try to get a deal.
And I'm going to offer not a low ball, not way too low, but I'm going to get something to where if there is a counter offer somewhere in the middle, most every time I'm going to take that. I'm usually not offering my lowest end that I will actually pay for the item. And it depends a lot of times on what they have it priced at in the beginning, where you can meet. Sometimes
and
they're just way out of line.
How it feels at the sale. I mean, some sales you can kind of tell they're trying to clean house. They're trying to get rid of stuff. Some sales you could tell they're just attached to it. They're having a garage sale because their neighbors are too. Like it depends a lot on the mood of the sale.
Yes. And, but if it's a $10 item and I go, hey, would you do 6 on this? And they go, I'd probably do 8. Okay. Sold. I'm going to buy that because I'm good with the price. Feel good. They feel good because they got the haggle. They still got a little more out of my wallet than what I wanted to spend. And they had to take a little bit of a hit off of the price. But I think a lot of times people, unless there's truly one of those sales where people are trying to just move stuff out and everything's just low price to begin with. But I think
sometimes I'm just not very good at the back and forth. Sometimes I'm just like, I'll talk to Teresa, like there's a thing they're asking $20 for it. I'm willing to pay 14.
Yeah.
And I'll make the offer and they'll come back at 16 and I'll be like, no, I said 14.
Yeah.
and that's the part I'll be working on more this summer. Like sometimes you get stuck on a price in your head and you're like, well, no, I already offered you 14. That's what I want to pay. So I've got to get myself away from that a little bit.
It depends on there's a lot of factors that go into that. It depends on how they come back with their counter offer. Cause you will get the people that come back on those sell for brand new. I paid $30 for that when I bought it and I'm only asking 20, or those sell on eBay for, and it's like, I'm done at that point.
Those words are
not
infuriating,
taking my
aren't
price. They are. And
yeah, we'll have to figure out how to be more, pull the emotion out of it this year a little bit more. Cause you do kind of get wrapped up in winning the deal.
Yes.
Sometimes. And it doesn't really matter. If it's a good deal at 14, it's probably a good deal at 16 too. It wasn't going to make any difference.
Yeah.
To me,
one
on
way
a
or
product
another.
like that. So we gotta look more at the end number and take the emotion out of it, I guess.
Look, you ever find like a note on your desk? I was looking down here and you ever find a note on your desk that seems like really important, but you have no clue.
Oh, I was going to say, I find notes on my desk all the time, but very seldom are they important.
I don't know what that note's about. I'll have to keep it.
So you don't know you don't know what the note's for?
No, something, three boxes, 24, and then I have 72, and I have like another 108 and something. Then there's $420 written on it. I have no clue what that was. But apparently, I thought it was interesting enough to write down on this piece of paper.
I have a note sitting here that just says
Holy.
subscriptions.
Okay.
And I honestly don't remember. It's my handwriting. Like, I know
Okay.
I wrote it, but I'm not sure what I wrote it for. Maybe I better go check Netflix or something, because I just wrote subscriptions down. I don't know what it. I'm sure it was really important when I wrote it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure like how this note got even shuffled to the top of the list or top of the pile here. I was trying to clean out my desk here a little bit, so maybe it's just something I don't know.
Part of the grocery list.
That doesn't have. Well, I don't know.
We need a decoder.
Unless I only need to buy 3 boxes and.
Oh, mac and cheese.
3 boxes. Did you say mac and cheese? As in
I did. There's 1 box.
I have no clue what that note is for. I don't know. That has nothing to do with the podcast.
I do have a box, but it's not mac and cheese.
Okay. That is a brown box that looks like an Amazon, like a little
We have these
electronic
little things in it. Have you ever seen these? They're hat hooks.
Okay. Wait, let me make that bigger. Okay.
So you
hat hooks.
I don't know if you can see that very well, but they're hat hooks.
Yeah.
So you put them on your wall, and then you slide the little button of the hat kind of slides in and holds it like that, so it holds your hats on the wall. And they're pretty cool. I've got a bunch of them hanging on my wall in the living room.
Is it got a sticky, or do you screw it to the wall?
Well, it's got a screw hole, but it also has a little 3M sticky double-sided thing, so you can just stick them on.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So
and they don't deform the hat. Like, usually when you hang your hats on those white plastic hangers, it like deforms the hat.
Yeah.
These ones use those 2 hooks to hold it up, so the hat stays shaped just like a hat.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I'll have to take a picture. I wasn't planning to show you the box of hat hangers, but when they're hung up, it's really cool.
Well, yeah,
5 out of 5 would recommend.
When you just filmed a podcast, 2 days ago, we're just grasping. Oh, wait. When I said that earlier, speaking of podcasts, I really butchered. There is a new podcast out there that just started this week. And last week I butchered the name and I didn't know anything about it, but I watched the first episode. It is called the Full-Time Flippers Podcast. Okay. And a friend of mine, Chad Quirky Picker, and his co-host is Dennis, the Free King Flipper. And so they had their first episode out.
I'll have to go watch it.
Last week, I think it's going to come out on Monday mornings and stuff. And so they're jumping into the podcast arena, if you will.
They're spinning that one up just in time, because this one's kind of going down in flames the way we're going today.
Yes. We have to come up with a good thumbnail. See, I don't want to go down this whole rabbit hole, but that's one of the things we were talking about today. You
just say YouTube sucks.
Well, the way that they do stuff, as far as you could have really, really good content. Now, I'm in no way saying that we're putting out really, really good content. I was going to
say that's bold.
We're putting, yeah. I mean, we have fun. We have fun with this and what we're doing, and we appreciate everybody that does stick around and watch each week and stuff. But that growth of the show, it's so dependent upon getting a good thumbnail and a title and stuff that, in those titles to get YouTube to push out that video for people to see it.
You really have to be willing to trick people into clicking and watching.
Yeah, well, clickbait. I mean, we actually put clickbait in the title of this.
There might be something to that, since we named the podcast the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. It surprisingly is in our name, and we really suck at it. We're not good at it.
Yeah. So, but that's, getting people to click on it. But anybody out there, if you could have a really great episode, you could have a really good topic, you could have a really good thing, and it just nobody sees it, and trying to figure that out as we go along. And
then you end up like the Reseller Don't Clickbait Podcast.
Yes, don't click on this bait or something. I don't know. And I'm not sure, but for everybody that does listen each week, and any new folks, and we've had some pretty good comments, good dialogue in the comments and stuff this here as of late, and appreciate
we appreciate you watching, even if you don't enjoy the show. Just know that. Yes. Regardless of your feelings, we appreciate you watching.
Exactly. Just click that button. Watch for 30 seconds. Now, then there's the watch time, and there's so many factors that go into the. Maybe we'll talk about that in one episode here coming up about that.
We could talk about it. The problem is we don't know anything about it. We need to bring on a guest for that.
Yeah.
If anybody out there knows anything about YouTube and would like to be a guest so we can talk about it, maybe that's where we'll start.
Exactly. And we already know you have to put out good content. You know, we're working at that. We know that.
Yeah, that might not happen.
It's but so yeah, that kind of went off on a tangent. Another thing that we were talking about today is in the 7 Mile conversation that made
the apocalypse conversation.
Oh yeah, it's
the doomsday.
What would happen if your store was your eBay, if you sell on eBay or any platforms, you know, you and I, we have all of our eggs in the eBay basket.
Yep.
We're not, except for some Facebook Marketplace sort of local stuff.
Yeah, a little bit of local
do
stuff,
some of that, but really not on any other platform. So don't have that. And you know, what we would do, what would happen if...
Yeah, I think that the premise was if you wake up tomorrow and eBay has deleted your account, like you, for some reason, you made the eBay gods angry.
Yes.
Like what's next? What's the day after that look like? What do you do next? Assuming you're not going to be able to get back on eBay. Now, I would say there's people that have been selling on eBay for 20 plus years. I don't think it's super easy to have that happen.
Yeah.
But it's also not unprecedented. It's not unheard
President's
of.
President's Day was last week.
President's Day was last week. Yeah, it's not unheard of. There are people out there, even in this community, that have lost eBay accounts.
Yes. And whether that's
it's a possibility.
The full account, or you know, if it was, you know, I've heard, you know, people got suspended like 3 days, you know, a week.
I think there's a lot of levels to that,
or something, I guess, dependent, or you know, and some of it, I think, a lot of times is unexpected. You know, maybe you listed something that you honestly, I mean, you didn't know that you weren't supposed to list it because there were other listings of the same sort of thing in the category, the same exact item, or for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, you could find any zeroed product that you're not allowed to sell on eBay and go search it up and find it on eBay. Like somebody else is getting away with selling it, you just can't. I think kind of what got us going down this line of thought, or at least me, was I've seen other people recently in one of our Discords that have been basically just suspended or banned or stopped. They're in eBay jail and stuff, and eBay just offers no explanation. Not eBay, sorry, Facebook. And Facebook has no explanation, no customer support. They just one day will shut you off. Okay. And they don't really tell you why. And that's that's the danger of using a platform that you don't control. So I think it's relevant to eBay in that aspect. So I think it kind of just got me thinking, you know, what if that did happen? And we rely on eBay for our income here. What would that look like the day after? And I think for each of us, it was pretty different when we were talking.
Yeah, if it were a short suspension, if it were a week suspension or something like that,
I'd just ride it out.
I could weather that. It depends. I know sometimes I've heard in some of the suspensions, like you can still like draft items or whatever. Just none of your items are up. You can't sell. You can't do any transactions, but you can still draft stuff. And I would probably spend that time. The first few days moping around and crying and, you know, wondering how life was over. Calling Cory, and said, how many, you got your running shoes on today? We're going to do, Are
you free for about 8 miles?
Yeah. It's, so, you know, I would just list. I would start doing drafts. I would list stuff so that when my store was open back up, I would...
Yeah, there's no shortage of just busy work to do in this business that you could do if that happened temporarily.
Probably.
I think I'd be more concerned about the permanent.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're not going to be able to come back. You know, what does the business turn into from that point? Because technically, you still own all the product. The thing people want to buy is still sitting in your building somewhere.
Yeah.
You just lost the platform or the outlet where you were selling it. So do you try to liquidate? Do you move that inventory somewhere else? Are you prepared if that happens? Like it's not like I don't cross list right now in any way, not in any significant way with a platform or anything like Vendu. We're not set up using it right now. So we don't have our items backed up anywhere.
Yes.
So if it went down, it would just be dead. They'd just be gone, right?
Yeah. That's pretty much where I'm in the same boat. Like say a week, 3 days, week, 10 days, I would ride that out. And hopefully when the store did come back and get up and it kind of got charged back with all that listing that I had did, or drafting, I guess I should say, start putting those up and be pretty active in the store, I could recover from that. A total shutdown, I would probably have to go get a job, a 9 to 5. I always hate to say a regular job or get a job, because this reselling is every bit of a job of anything else that I did.
It would essentially be like getting fired, though, wouldn't it? I mean, your paycheck would go away. It would cease to happen at that moment.
So I would probably try to look for some short-term temporary employment that, because I'm a guy that sticks in there. I wouldn't want to go to a job and then quit on the people. But I think what I would do is, until I could figure out those avenues. Of course, eBay is where I have my everything, and I don't think, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I'm not going to make that kind of money on Macari, or I'm not going to make that kind of money on Poshmark, because I'm not primarily a clothing seller. I know I hear people talk, they sell, oh, hey, I sold this DVD VCR combo on Poshmark. I know there are people making,
I know there are people making substantial, making their living full-time selling on those other platforms.
Yeah.
And I know there are, and they're not all clothing sellers. I think the reason they don't work as good for us is because we put our effort into eBay. We don't put that kind of effort into, say, Macari, or one of the other platforms. So I think they are viable. Do I think they're eBay? No. But I think you could make a living on the other platforms, but you'd certainly have to change the way you do business. You'd have to refocus those efforts into those platforms to make them work for you.
Yeah.
I think if it was me and it happened, I don't think I would look for a job. I think I would refocus. My temporary income, I think, would probably be, Teresa and I would immediately go out and start picking up furniture tomorrow.
Okay.
We'd drive to every place we could find it and pick up as much cheap furniture as we can, because we know we can flip furniture fast. Like if I can find just on
Marketplace or something.
Yep.
Okay.
If I could find end tables in pairs that are in okay shape, if I could find lamps in pairs that are in okay shape, like stuff like that, I can flip on Marketplace quick enough and at a good enough level to where it's not my eBay income, but I can get by while I refocus my inventory. Like everything's in tubs. I'll go through one tub at a time and relist them somewhere else until we're back up where we need to be. And I'll supplement that by selling furniture, I think. That's probably how we'd approach it.
Yeah, until we started to talk about it today, I hadn't really thought about that. I honestly, I do not have a backup plan. What I do right now, sustains me. I have, I don't pay myself an official paycheck, but I have monies, that I pull out for my account. Money stay in the business, and I would, whatever efforts that I had to make to get back to being a full-time reseller. Again, sure. I honestly, if I was suspended forever, if my account was completely closed down, I would have to get a job in the interim until I could figure out, number one, what to do with all the inventory. I could go down the Whatnot or the district sort of thing. That's, that new platform. I could go at those routes. I could probably start to liquidate that inventory. I could,
I don't like that word when it comes to that, because I think you're in a hard position, and then you're gonna liquidate or devalue your inventory on those platforms and not get what it's worth when you need it the most.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with grabbing a temporary job. Like, you do what you got to do for sure.
Yeah.
But then if you took that same inventory and started finding a new platform, a new outlet for it that was going to get what it was worth. Because I don't think eBay is the end all be all. I think it's the easiest for the everything type seller.
Yeah.
Like if you're selling just everything, I think eBay, while it's complex, I think it's the easiest to make a an honest living on out
True.
of the gate.
I mean, I would say that because it's the only platform that I have ever tried. I haven't, tried to go down the Amazon route or any of the other platforms. So yeah,
I certainly
don't
think
know.
those other platforms are viable. If you put that, I mean, if you focused all your effort and your inventory back into, say, Macari,
Yeah.
I think you could get back up to the amount of sales and the amount of income you're making now. I really do.
Yeah.
And I say that mostly because we are nowhere close to being at the top end of where we want to be on eBay yet. We still are pretty meager in terms of sales. I think I could match those sales on just about any other platform if we put the effort and time in.
And supplement that with more, like you said,
we'd
the
have to
Facebook sales, going out and find out, or listing some of that stuff.
I don't think you could just
an interesting
list them and have them. I don't think you could just relist your whole inventory on Macari tomorrow and have it do the same thing eBay's doing. It just won't work.
We were talking about that, about relisting this stuff. One of the things that I do, I'm like, I don't know if this is old school or just quirky or just whatever, but I don't usually like delete files. I was talking about the photos. One of the things, if I had to restart it, okay. So here was a question I had. If somebody in the chat knows this, if you got suspended from eBay, now I guess I'm talking about like not completely shut down. Do you just still suspended? Have any access at all to that account? I mean, if you're just totally locked out, is that it? You're done and it's, or whatever.
Well, I think if you're banned, like if they kill your account, then yeah. But if you're suspended, I'll bet you have access to your inventory.
If you were going to start to do the cross listing, go to one of either the cross listing softwares or whatever. And that's the direction that I'm going with this, because where you could just pull everything. Let's say if you did decide on Macari, or you decided on Poshmark, or a combination of both, or any of the other platforms, if you were able to just pull all of that stuff into there, that would be good.
Well, that might be the one redeeming part of this conversation. If anybody gets any value out of this last part of this podcast, maybe it's that there's something you could do to prepare for this, and that's maybe have one of them platforms, or find a way to back up your inventory, because maybe that takes a lot of the, like for me, I would actually just go out and I would start going tub by tub and relisting on a different platform, because I don't have that backup. But I'm also not the kind of guy that saves, like you were saying, you save a lot of your photos and stuff.
Yeah.
When I get a new phone, I don't even let them back my phone up and put it to my new phone. I won't let them. I get a new phone, I start over with all new contacts and everything.
Yeah, I don't save my photos on my phone. Like I take obviously all of my photos for my stuff, but I list a combination. I'd probably say the majority of the stuff I use my PC for listing. I used to be PC, then I was all phone. I did everything on phone, and then I switched back a good while ago to the majority of the listing. Now I'll comp stuff,
evolved.
And I will sell. I'll do like, if I am comping stuff, I'll do a sell similar from there, to kind of boom, get that draft started or whatever. It's in the drafts. But all of my photos, I don't get rid of any photos. So if I did have to start over, I have every photo of every listed piece of inventory that I have, and it's all separated in folders by my categories that I have in my eBay store. So, I have a toy category, and I'll men's shoes, women's shoes, sporting goods, electronics, that sort of stuff. And so whenever I'm done with those photos, after I take the pictures, I just put them in those different folders. And so I feel, I don't know why I keep them. I have not once in my history have I ever had to go back and pull up old photos that I've used, or that I had before. But just something about me. I have a
total of 9 or 10 photos on my phone, and I don't have any product photos on my computer.
Okay. So you just, once they're up, they're done.
Yep, we get rid of it. I don't leave them on there.
If I did have to start over someplace, I guess at least I could save some time, because I have all of those photos. Now they're in those folders. It really doesn't take me, oh, you're wasting a bunch of time. No, not really. It doesn't take me that much time to put those into a folder. I have plenty of space. I'm not like hurting for disk space on my computer.
And I do think it's a personality thing, like what works best in your mind at the time. Because like for me, like I said with my phone, I don't have them back up my phone. When I get a new phone, I like to start fresh. No contacts, no photos, no settings. I'll set it up fresh. Like it's the clear out for me. So if I was going to get eBay shut down, the clear out and starting fresh by one tote at a time, relisting, like that's, for me, that's freeing. Like it's a complete clear out. It's a wash. We get to start over and reorganize. That's the way I function better.
Yeah. And
as
so,
opposed to trying to pull the old photos.
That's one of the things, I've been thinking about doing some cross-listing to other platforms. Number one, to learn a new platform. And I know we've talked about that before. It's like, have I maximized everything in eBay? Can I do more in eBay for more sales? Most definitely. There's a lot of stuff that I could do to maximize those things. But selling on another platform, to have those extra eyes, to have that other avenue to sell. And if the majority of your inventory is cross-listed someplace, that would seem like a good, somewhat of a backup plan that's already in place. That, it's like, oh, eBay was shut down.
There's some validity to that for sure.
And so, learning new platforms, because, I see a lot of the folks in videos that are showing, their daily sales or whatever. One of my friends I like to watch, Chris Cajun Reseller, and he pretty much kind of does a daily thing. And it's like, oh, I sold this on eBay, and I sold these items on Amazon, and I had 2 Macari sales, and I sold this on Poshmark. And the next day it might be, oh, you only had 2 eBay sales today, but I had 6 on Macari or whatever. It's just like, well, hey, that's just an avenue.
Yeah, for us, it's strictly about efficiency for us right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're simply not anywhere close to being good enough on eBay to be thinking about doing something else or learning something else.
Yeah.
Now, we make an okay living selling on eBay, but in complete honesty, I think we could triple what we do in terms of profit from what we're doing right now, just on eBay. Yeah. So I'm not looking for another job yet. And to me, that's what a platform is. It's another job. I have to learn a whole new job, and then I'm going to be doing 2 jobs for probably roughly the same amount of money, or maybe slightly more, but not enough to be working 2 jobs. So we're just focusing everything and trying to be efficient on one first. I do want to get there, though. I mean, that's always been a goal, is to get there.
Yeah.
I just don't think we're anywhere close yet. I've been thinking
a lot about that lately, about doing the cross-listing. I've been seeing, here's a call back to the beginning, or something that maybe, Cory, you can explain this to me now, because, this is coming out on Monday and you've already been to your event. Don't you have somebody from Vendu, which is one of the, that's one of the cross-listing platforms, coming
Deanna. I think it's Deanna or Deanna. She's coming to talk. Yep.
So what did she say?
It was a great speech. It was very informative. And I highly recommend Vendu. No, I don't know what she's going to say yet, but I'm certain that the Vendu's a great app, and I am looking forward to getting to the point where we can use it. But again, I just don't think it's for us right now.
That's another one of those topics that you could go down that whole rabbit hole of who the best. I don't know who the best. I guess you can only really take recommendations from people that you trust, or friends, or somebody you could talk to about what the best cross-listing platform is. Because you have, I think, the best platform, Perfectly Camp, the Vendu. You have the people's like, I just do it all manually by hand.
I think you ought to try all 3 at some point. I really think you ought to do like a month trial, or pay for a month and do all 3 of them. Whichever one makes you more money and causes you the least amount of work, that's the right one.
Yeah.
And that's the answer.
I want to, which is true. That's 100% true. And I think, just talking to people that you trust, that are, because you see that go around where it's like, oh man, I use whatever. I use pick one, Cory, pick one. So I'm not playing favorites. Go.
List Perfectly.
Okay. I use List Perfectly. Oh, and it's great. And it does all of these things, and it does all these things. Oh, and if you use my code, you can get such and such off. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Is it really that great of a product that you just built up, or did I just, watch a commercial? So, and although that would be, friends or people that it's like, you never know when somebody's got, it affects their wallet.
Here's what I could tell you for a certainty. We have never taken a single dime from Dude Wipes, and we still recommend them. Not a dime.
I do. It's a great product.
There
Dude
you go.
Wipes. I should quit.
We need a disclaimer though, not for use with septic systems.
I should quit I should quit giving Dude Wipes airtime. And, actually, I'm going to have to break into this 5-pack soon. I'm down to just probably less than half a pack in the other pack. These ones, I got this as a Christmas gift. I seen a whole bunch of these. The other day I was at this bins, like a bin store. It was like maybe an Amazon Returns, or I do see a lot of Amazon
Dude
Returns.
Wipes?
And they had a bunch of now they weren't the minty chill flavor. They were I don't know. They were
like iced coffee flavor or something. What how many different flavors do they have of butt wipes?
I think that they have several different flavors, but they weren't that. I
think we learned they're not strictly butt wipes, right? They're like hand wipes. They're like just general purpose wipes, or are they meant for the undercarriage?
I think they are meant for that was a nice way to put that.
Yeah.
I think, I think that because they say flushable wipes. Okay, wait.
See, that's bad advertising. I don't think they are flushable. I think they will flush, but I also think they're not great for your septic.
Okay, this is I'll read you the history right here. And
well, this is riveting.
Back in the day, we founded Dude Products out of our apartment in Chicago. We were so tired of dealing with dry toilet paper during the aftermath of a lunchtime burrito. Something needed to be done, so we created Dude Wipes to put you back on your game whenever nature calls. So I'd say that they're more. Now I do. I'll grab one and I'm not wiping my face off with them.
I'm still a little hung up on that story. I'm trying to picture in my head what kind of invalid gets tired and toilet paper's too much for them. Like, this is just too much. I can't do it anymore.
Well, I do. Okay. I honestly do feel fresher and cleaner back there.
I'm not saying it's not a good product. I'm just trying to picture the evolution of this, because usually products are produced out of necessity. You have a problem and you solved it with these. Like, what kind of problem did arise that put you off of toilet paper? Well, that must have been a hell of a burrito.
It must have been. And then also, it's like, did they really? I mean, when at first, I'm talking about Dude Wipes. Weren't just regular baby wipes around forever
They've been around a minute.
And I think
but you can't go to work and tell your buddies that you're wiping with baby wipes. You're gonna get made fun of. But if you say, "Bro, we got some Dude Wipes,"
and they're minty chill. They're minty chill flavor, and
get some street cred with Dude Wipes.
Can you smell the minty freshness? Oh, okay.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
I don't know that we did any better here, Cory, in the evening than we would have done first thing in the morning. But
it was still more fun. I enjoyed it more than a morning one.
It was a little bit. We didn't have to, wipe the Sandman out of our eyes or anything. And,
I guess the question is, did the audience enjoy it more than our normal morning routine?
I think they did. I think we're going to get.
They did.
They did.
Preempting that.
We're going to get lots more thumbs up. We get a lot of views, but only so many likes or whatever or thumbs up. So if you're this far and you said, "Hey guys, leave in the comments, you should record these episodes more at night than in the morning because it was much more engaging." Cory, you might have been a little more engaging. If you made it through the
Dude Wipe chat and you're hearing this now, you're already hardcore. So spread the word. Tell a friend. There's a lot more Dude Wipe chat where that came from.
Yes. Yeah. Let us know there if you're still here. Hit that thumbs up. Let us know in the comments if you made it here and you hit that thumbs up.
There you go. Thumbs up for more nighttime episodes. Thumbs down if you want the morning episodes.
So we always thumbs down if you, and we'll get the hint. We will get the hint. again, we recorded this early because you are you will be at the meetup. I'm excited to see the goings on there. I'm excited to talk to you when you get back from the meetup. And
I'll probably be watching this on the drive back.
There you go. It'll be scheduled and ready to go. So yeah, I'd you know, hopefully you had fun. I guess when this comes out, you will have had fun. But you know, hopefully you have fun. Be safe in your travels over there, and I'm sure we will talk sometime during the event. But
we'll get a few miles in while we're down there.
Yeah. So, and that's probably the next episode. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll recap that. Well, I'm sure you'll be doing that on your channel over there on Grams and Pops as well. And
we should have some footage once we're done there. So
that's cool. So we will wrap this one up. And any last words, Cory? I'll give you the last word. I'll give you the last word. Go.
All right. We appreciate